friends, it's Jennifer from the patio. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I want to welcome you and appreciate you coming and checking things out. And if you're returning, I want to thank you because I think you're freaking awesome. So anyway, I'm drinking my green drink and I am making a project for the design team with House of Mahalo. So I was working on it and I thought, you know, I need to turn the camera on so that I can get this, videoed. So anyway, I was looking through my stash and I found this booklet and I thought, you know what, I'll just make that. It has a pocket in the back, it has a pocket in the front, and a pocket right here. And I made it with a really big book page. And then I just put, I think I just put some sheet music on it. Yeah, I can see it. But anyway, so we're basically going to make this right here. But it's going to be a little bit different dimensions. So that's what we're making. So let me show you, let me get something off the printer. It smells so good in here, you guys. I am making a roast, and I also made a banana pudding. Woohoo! I know my husband's going to be like, oh my gosh, I love you. Okay, so anyway, so the house smells really good. So these are the papers. This is called her Scottish Summer. This is the Justine with House of Mahalos. And you can find all of her digital kits on her Etsy shop called House of Mahalo Designs. So anyway, there's this one, which I really love. She has 3 pages that are portrait, which is what this is. And then she has this page, and it had a bird on it, but I've already cut it out because I absolutely love that little bird, but I wanted it to a big one. So anyway, I cut that out. So that's that. And I think the bottom of that page is like right here. So anyway, that's one look. And she has these ledger papers just by themselves. And so one of them I printed on the back. And then that one, I didn't print that one, but I do like it. Okay, so there's that. And then she has this page, real pretty flowers. And then she has this page where I think she lifted everything, the birds and everything, so you could just get that. And then she also had these Scottish, yeah, those cows. So anyway, she has those, and they were on a sheet with another one of these. So anyway, I didn't print them all out. I only printed what I was using, but I think the kit is 11 pages. It's a small kit, but that's what we're using today. So first off, we need our base. So I'm just going to put this in the corner so that you guys can just kind of see what it is that we're making. But this one was pretty wide. It was like 5.5. And you know, that won't fit on a journal page because the journal page is 5.5. So I need to open my drink because I'm going to be walking in a little bit. So I always drink my energy drink beforehand. So, anywho, I hope that doesn't bother you. Okay, so anyway, so I started cutting everything out. So this is going to be our base. And then I'm going to put this on top. And then I'm going to put this. This is going to be one pocket. And I kind of lowered it. I didn't want to put it all the way up like this one. Just so you can get something, you know, in and out fairly easy. So we are going to gusset, score the ends and wrap those around the back. And then I thought I'd put this on the front as a little pocket, and that'll be another pocket. I just have to be careful about this one piece, and I kind of want to cut it off, but I don't know. We're going to see if it'll withstand anything. And then the other thing that I want to do that's different than this is I wanted to have these little flip outs because I just like them and I think they're cool. So it's going to be one flip out that's on this side. And, you know, I might not put that on there. We'll see. I might put it on the back. There's going to be one, and then there's going to be the other one. So they're going to flip out, you know, one to the left and one to the right. And then when you open it up, you'll see the little pocket here. So, and then I have some paper that I can cover all of that. So, let me give you some measurements in case you want to make one of these with me. So I just cut out a file folder. You know me, I love me some file folders. And this one is 8 3/4. So let me get my pencil. So it's 8 3/4 by 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then I scored on the 2-inch. So you're going to score on the 8 3/4 at 2 inches. Okay, so that is what you are going to do. And so now we can just start assembling things. So I already cut these out, and I'll give you those measurements when we go to put those on. And the first thing I want to do is I believe I just want to round the corners on this, on the top. You know what? It's easier to round after I put the paper on. I always end up doing that. Okay. First thing I need to do is I need to place this down. So I'm pretty sure that this is like a 1/2 inch. I'm pretty sure. So we are going to look real quick. Because this, like I said, well, I have the measurements right there. It is 5 1/4. So I need to take a 1/4 off of each end. I'm just going to go in on a 1/4. Is that right? Did I say 5 1/2? No, 5 1/4. Because I want it to be 5. I'm going to mark it. Let me turn it over. This is getting complicated here. No, that's right. So if it's 5 1/4, it's a 1/2 inch because it's a total of 6. Okay. So I cut my paper to be a lot bigger. So, okay. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch on each side. And I'm going to turn it like this instead of doing on the other. Because see, it just doesn't go. Let me see if that's going to fit. Yes. Okay. So I just scored it. So do you want me to tell you how big this piece of paper is? This is the one that's going to go on the top. And it is a little bit bigger than 6 1/4. It's right in between 6 1/4 and 6 1/2. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths. So 6 5/8. And then you're going to score a 1/2 inch in from each side. And then you're just going to fold those over. Give them a little burnish from the center so you can get your evenness. You don't want to burnish from up here because it'll push the paper in a different direction. Okay. And the reason I did it like this was because I really want to have just some extra room and without it being glued on the side. So that's why I did that. So now I am going to make a little notch. So I'm going to center this on my piece of paper. I mean on my mat. And then I'm going to put that here and just kind of center it. I think I need to go over here a little bit. It doesn't have to be exact, but I do want it to be a little close. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink this at the top. And I'm not making this for any kind of project that I'm working on. I'm kind of making it just to have as some ephemera, you know, in case it Happy Mail or something like that. So I apologize about the glare. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon and the sun is a little bit stronger on the right side than it is the left. Okay, so there's that. And then let me go ahead and just go down a little bit. You're not going to see it, so I'm just going to put that there. But you are going to see it up here because I'm going to make a little border around each of the pieces of paper that I stick down. And then you're definitely going to see this side. So how are you guys doing today? Happy Friday to you. You made it to the weekend. Yay! Are you going to be doing anything exciting and special this weekend? I do not believe that I am. I don't. I just don't believe that I am. Okay. And I'm kind of okay with that. So I think what I'm going to do is put some stenciling of some sort behind there. I don't want to put too much more paper because, oh, and you know what I have out, because this is what I've been working on. I'm just going to use this. Okay. You know me, I love that splatter. This is that Tim Holtz splatter stencil, and I really love it. And you're not going to see it going down, but at least you can kind of, yes, that's going to look good. And I am A-okay with that. Okay, so there's that piece. So this is the first one that we want to put on. So let's just kind of line that up. And I think I'm going to just miter the little edges just so that when they fold over, you're not going to see them. So I'm just going to go right towards the middle part, and on this one I'm just going to go out. Same as at the top. And over on this side. So I had lunch with my girlfriend the other day, and we went to, it's a place in Galveston called The Garden, and it's Thai food, and we had yellow curry. We get it every time, and we are never, ever, ever disappointed. It was so stinking good. And then we went over to our favorite coffee shop, Maud's Coffee, and we had a great time. We had a great time. So anyway, I needed that. You know, sometimes you just need to be with your girlfriends. I spend a lot of time with my family, and I love my girlfriends, but I don't do as much with them as I would like, as we are all getting a little bit older. Okay, let's go ahead and glue this little baby down. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that it's, I'm going to face it towards me so I can see. Okay, and I'm just going to use my art glitter glue because it's been acting good ever since I cleaned the nozzle. I'm so excited about that. You're doing so good, Art. Anywho, hope you're having a great day. I just love these little projects that you can just quickly put together. So I just put it up and then did a little like that. And then I'm going to do the bottom. I didn't do that yet, but I wanted to wait. So now I'm going to just glue the bottom. Just wanted to make sure that I had it where it needed to go. Okay, so there is that. So now we are going to put our cute little, our bird and our little, what do you call those? I know that there's a name for them, and my mind just completely went blank. But, and I think I'm going to leave everything square. I was going to round it, and then I'm like, you know, I don't think so. I think I'm just going to leave it square. Okay, so there's that. And love this bird. It's just the cutest. Cute, cute, cute. Anywho, I'm really excited about dinner tonight. Like I told you, I wasn't feeling very well. I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you. Okay, I'm talking about my personal life, and I apologize. Let me tell you the measurements of these. Okay, this is, I'm going to say, I measured it by this. So I'm going to say, make it about 5 inches. Okay, and then you're going to score on the 1 inch, just to give yourself a 1 inch. And then this is 3.5. But I'm going to be honest, it's whatever picture you find, because what I did is I cut that out and then I wanted a little border and then I marked it, and that's kind of how I got it. So there's not really a measurement for that. But if you had to, I would say 5 by 3.5, and then I would give yourself either a 1/2 inch or an inch on the, or 3/4. This is 3/4 of an inch on the fold around, because you want it to be big enough to where it's, you know, it's going to fold over well. So anyway, it's going to go like that. So there's that one. So, and honestly, I don't know if you've ever seen me make these before. I do have a video, I think, one of the first ones that I did. And I'm going to put some paper on the inside, or just leave it as a writing space, because, you know, you got to have writing space on these. Okay, so there's that. We're going to glue that down. And then this one is, and like I said, it's not going to matter what you do yours with, because I cut the picture out, and then I put it on there, and then I just cut it accordingly, okay? So, I mean, if you just want to know what it is about 5 1/4 by 4.5. And then you just give yourself a 3/4 little edge that you can fold around to the back. And remember, this is all going to be glued down, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so I did that. Now I need to go ahead and ink this. Anywho, I don't know what I was saying, but I was saying that I didn't feel good last week. And I mean, I functioned, and I was okay. It wasn't like I was down and out. I did go to bed. One day I fell asleep in my chair, and it was probably like 5. And so I got up and went and laid in the bed. I said, I'm going to go lay down. I just don't feel good. And he goes, okay. So I slept till midnight, got up, got a big old glass of water, took some ibuprofen, and then he was still up. I think it was Friday or Saturday night. And he goes, I said, I'm going back to bed. He goes, you can sleep? Because he had taken a nap too. And I said, yeah, I did. I went back to bed and did not wake up until 8. I mean, I got so much sleep. It was crazy. But obviously I needed it. So, okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and glue these down. And you know, I'm not going to use UHU glue. And the reason is because it makes this bow. And then I have to wait for so long. And I do not want to do that. So let me get Mr. Art working here. Come on now. Don't do me wrong, Mr. Art. Okay. Anyway, I didn't cook a whole lot. My whole point was to tell you I didn't cook a whole lot last week. And I generally cook every day. So, well, at least 5 days out of the week. On the weekends, we tend to eat out every once in a while. But anyway, so I was so excited. I did cook yesterday, and then today I made a pot roast. And I was going to put potatoes and carrots in with it, but you know what? I bought them, and then I just didn't. I'm just going to make homemade mashed taters and then have that with the gravy. So that just sounds better to me. And then I'm going to make sweet carrots because I bought carrots. So that's what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do. So, my hubby just drove up. So I'm going to put this on pause. And I will be right back because, you know, Bubba, this is his, just, you know, he loves this time of day when Daddy gets home. So I can already hear him. Can you hear him at the door? What is it? Is that Daddy? Is that Daddy, Bubba? Oh my goodness. Yeah. He's going. Okay, so anywho, there's that. And I shall be right back, my friends. Okay, he's home and Bubba has greeted him. Okay, so I have to decide whether or not I want this one on the top. I just love that bird. And then when you open it up, then you'll see the little cows. A lot of times you just put it on the top. The smaller one will go on the top. Like that. I don't know. What do you think? It doesn't really matter, but it kind of does, because that way, you know, depending on which one you want it to come out a little bit more so it doesn't bow up. I don't know. I kind of like it like that. Okay, so I put it the way I liked it, and then now I am going to glue these down. It's pretty simple. I love this technique. I love to use it with glassine bags. I was going to do a project, to tell you the honest truth, with this paper using some glassine bags, and I'll show it to you, and maybe I'll do it next week, but it's such a good must-have for your stash. Doesn't matter what you're making, you know, what journal you're working in. It's just a really good, you know, little page spread. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of push that down a little bit. And you know, once it's in a journal, and it'll stay down, so that's no problem. I love that. Isn't that cute? And I love that bird. Okay, so it's going to go like that. Okay, and then now what we need is we need to have, I don't know, do I want to put this in here? I just think it's so pretty. And then I could have just one more card right there. I could always, I really love this flower. But if I do this, I'm going to have to cut that off. And you know, I guess it's okay. Yeah, no. You got to cut something off. Let me put this back in. See, I already let it sit. And I think that's what is wrong with these glue bottles. Boy, you just leave it out, and then what happens is it clumps up. See how it comes out? It clumps up in the little spout area. Okay, so let me just cut that off. I'm going to do it like right at that. Let's see what that gives us. That's plenty of room. That's plenty of room, huh? It kind of looks like I need to... No, it looks fine. Okay, the only thing I want to do is I kind of want to ink the top. Just to give it a continuity. Continuity. So anywho, I hope you guys are doing good. Tell me what you're making. Do you cook a lot? I meant food, not crafts. What kind of food do you like to make? It's so funny. I was thinking the other day, I want to send a message to my sisters and say, what are your 10 go-to dishes that you make all the time? Because, you know, we're going to be retiring, so I've been watching a lot of retiring videos, and they're always talking about, you know, first off, you have to worry about your health, which is number one, which, you know, I exercise and do that, not as often as maybe I could. I do walk, but I need to do strength training. But anyway, they say your health, and then they say your diet. And so, you know, that you should eat better and, you know, healthier. And I tend to make the same thing. I told my husband, I said, you know, we eat the same things all the time. And that actually is a good thing because, for one, it's good for your pocketbook because you don't deviate. And you know what you're going to have. You oscillate between, you know, spaghetti, and especially in the wintertime, I make a lot of soups. You know, I do taco soup. I do soupa discana, which is one of my signatures. My kids and family love to have that in my taco soup. Oh, anyway, it's just, you know, it's crazy how you eat the same things over and over again. So I was thinking, what are your 10 things? What are the 10 things that you make all the time? It doesn't matter. It's like, it's just your go-to. Let me know what they are, because I would be interested to know. Okay, so there's a pocket, and that's going to be sticking up, but I think we're going to be okay with that. And then there's a pocket. We're going to let that, you know, kind of dry. And then we need to either cover this. It's going to be down on a page, so I don't think we really need to do that. And then this is going to flip down like this. Ooh, that was just perfect, wasn't it? The way I put it. And I think I do want to round these corners. So we'll round these corners. And so now what we need to do is we need to make some tall tags to go into all these pockets. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to use, I can either use this, which I think is just so pretty. And then I also have, I had this card left, and I love that flower. So I think I'll make that one for the big one. And then I think I'll cut this down so that it fits in there like that. Yes, I do. But I'm going to cut it in just a little bit. So let me get my chomper out. Let me see what we're working with. It's a little bit more than 5. So let's make it 4 3/4. That'll just give us a little bit of room. Okay, there, that's good. And then on this one, I believe, I've already told you what this is, but I'm going to measure it again. I'm going to make this 4 3/4. Maybe 4 1/2. I'm going to do 4 1/2. 4 1/2 wide. I don't know why this paper looks like it goes like that. Okay, so 4 1/2. I don't know, there's a little bit right there. She's from, you know, she's from Great Britain, so they have the A4 size, and so I'm going to do this like that. Let me take that little bit off and then see what I have. See what I have left. Okay, so I'm going to have to take some off the top. So it'll slide in there like that. Oh, I hate to cut that off. I'm going to take some off the bottom. Let me measure. I'm playing around here now. So that is 6 3/4, and I want it to come down just a little bit. So I'm going to do 6 1/2. 6 1/2. And so I'm going to do, this is 6 1/2 right there. I'm going to take it up to 7, and then I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off the top. Only because I want this. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then I have some strips that I can use for something else. Okay, so this is going to go in here. Like that. Oh, that's a little bit, I may have to take a little bit more off. I'll take it off this side. I want that to be able to close well. Let's see what that does. Okay. And then we fix that because so that can go in just like this. So that'll go like that. That looks good. And, you know, I'm going to cut this one down just, should I? Because I just want them to be even. I'm sorry. I'm kind of weird like that. So this is, but between 4.5 and 4 1/4. So let's do it this way. I just had to take a little sliver off. Let me see. Yes, so now they're even. Okay, so let me go ahead and what do I want to do? Do I want to make this one? I kind of want to make this like a tag. But I don't want to do just a, yeah, I just want to do a small one. So I'll just do the corners like that. And then look, I'm wearing those. I am wearing those. I'm going to do just this little bitty one. Just so it slides in well. And this one I'm going to do with just the largest of the corner rounders all the way around. And I printed this on 65 pounds, so it should be nice and sturdy. And this one's going to be white. And then this one I printed on some of her paper on the back. But I'm okay with that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to cover it with some of this good stuff. That's what's so awesome about these. And you don't, it's not about doing a whole lot. It's just about giving it a little bit of color. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. See? And it's still a writing spot. So you don't have to, worry about. Okay. And then we're just we have to do the back side because somebody's going to see it and write on it. And I don't want to forget because I'm going to put it up in my stash. These papers are so pretty. But if you're interested, she has a lot of beautiful kits. This is my 5th month to use her kits and to create projects for her. Design, well, I say for her, but it's, as part of the design team. I love that sticking out just like right there. So, I love that it's the 5th month, so... And so I'm trying to think what else I've done all kinds of stuff with, I've made folios and I've made pop-up cards and, other things. But I always tend to do folios, some kind of a page spread. So when you put it in a journal, it's something that you can, use and then gives you a lot of writing space. But I love the little houses and the way she did that, it makes it to where you can cut it out just like that. I'm trying to see with this other one. Yeah, it's just an opposite view, but you just cut these out. Look how pretty. I love it. Okay. Now, the other thing I could do on this is I have these papers, and I could very well cover them with some of this. Let me see what else I have. I hate to just cut it up because I can definitely use that for something else. But I like a writing space, so I think I'm good with that. And then this is going to go down like that, and so I need to cover this. So let's see what I have. Those are big pieces. I have this. That would look really good. How about that? Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to do it like this. So, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a border. This is 2, so I need it 1 3/4. I just like to have a border around it. And I want to preserve that flower, so I'm going to cut from the other end, but I'm just going to cut this little white part off right here. So it's 2 inches, so I need 1 3/4. So we're just going to take it right to there. And, okay, yes, that fits nicely. And then we need to cut it. It is 5 1/4, so we will cut it to 5. So let me look and see. I kind of like cutting that off, yeah. Okay. And then let me turn it back over so I can see which way I want it to go. Like that? I think so. That looks so good. I just love those flowers. Okay, so the bottom part needs to be rounded, but just the bottom, like that. So I'm gonna flip it over, and then I'm gonna tape those down too, just to make sure, because you know when I glue it in, I'm probably not gonna put another card on top, you know, a space to put a card on top, but I am going to do it to where I'd glue the top, the bottom, and the side. And so this one, whichever way I decide, they need to be have some tape or something so that they don't keep the card from going in. You hear me? Okay, so there's that. This was just a little quick project that I saw, and I'm like, you know, I just want to make that with her paper. So I'm just coming, it's a Friday. I know you guys don't do a whole lot of crafting on the weekends, but I wanted to give you something to, you know, something fast and easy to make. It's just that quick. And like I say, the most important thing is just the measurement of the you know, the pocket itself. That's cute. And then, you know what I can do? I have some of these cute little Tim Holtz paper clips. And I can just put that one right there just to hold it down. See? And then this will flip open, this will flip open. There's a card in there, and then there's a card in there. I like it. I like it. Get back in there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that is our project for today. I hope you liked it. And I shall see you on Monday. Hope you have a fabulous weekend. Hope you get to do something that you really, really want to do. Try a new restaurant, hang out with some friends or family. You know, it might even be that you just want to rest. You know, I don't know. You may just want to rest, and I'm going to pull out some of my painter's tape. And I'm going to take this down. And I'm going to put some glue on here. Just so my painter's tape stays. Okay? Just like that. That'll help, that'll help, that'll help. That'll do, pig. Do you ever remember that movie? That'll do, pig. That'll do. Okay. I'm just doing this because if I don't, I'll forget. I don't need it that big. There. And then it's whenever I glue it on, which I know me, I'm probably going to glue it so that I can have a side tuck. I might do it where it goes in at the top too. But then I have these here, so. Anywho, when I get to that point, which I'm not sure what journal I'll be putting it in, but when I get to that point, I'll know what it is that I want to do. So, thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. And I hope you make one of these, and if you do, go to my Facebook page and show it to me. So, have a fabulous weekend. I'll see you on Monday, but remember, you only know what you know until you know something different. Bye-bye.